Every day, we face situations that trigger powerful emotions: anger, frustration, fear, or excitement. Most people react immediately, allowing their emotions to guide their actions, often to the detriment of their serenity and relationships. Socrate mind teaches us that there is immense power in the art of not reacting right away, in creating a space between what we feel and what we decide to do. This power does not consist of suppressing our emotions, but of observing them, understanding them, and consciously choosing our response. True freedom lies in our ability to decide how to react rather than succumbing to our impulses. Every external stimulus, be it criticism, injustice, or an obstacle, only becomes problematic if we allow it to trigger an automatic reaction. Recognizing this distinction is the first step towards self-mastery, as it reminds us that we always retain control over our actions, even in difficult moments. Developing emotional awareness is essential. Recognizing and naming our emotions without judgment allows us to observe them rather than be dominated by them. Feeling anger or frustration is neither good nor bad. It is a signal indicating that our values or expectations have been touched. Asking ourselves questions like, why does this situation bother me? Or what belief amplifies my reaction? Helps us understand the origin of the emotion and respond with discernment. Conscious breathing plays a fundamental role. Breathing deeply and slowly creates a pause and allows us to respond with clarity. Observing our emotions with lucidity enables us to discover our triggers, understand our repetitive patterns, and transform each difficulty into an opportunity for growth. Every conscious choice brings us closer to the person we want to become: calm, resilient, and self-mastered. Socrate mind reminds us that power lies in the ability to remain self-controlled, to transform our emotions into inner strength, and to live each moment with serenity, clarity, and freedom. To master our reactions, it is essential to know our emotional triggers, those situations, people, or behaviors that instantly evoke powerful feelings. Socrate mind teaches that self-awareness begins with a careful observation of our reactions to events. Each uncontrolled emotion reflects an unmet expectation, a limiting belief, or a past experience. By identifying these triggers, we stop being victims of our emotions and become active observers of our inner world. Keeping an emotional journal can be a valuable tool. Noting what provokes irritation, fear, or intense desire allows us to discern patterns invisible to the naked eye. Once these triggers are identified, we can apply the Socratic method, questioning our reactions. Why does this affect me so much? Does this situation truly threaten my values? Or is it an interpretation of my mind? By developing this analytical and introspective approach, we transform each emotion into learning and each challenge into an opportunity for growth. Conscious breathing remains a key tool. When faced with a trigger, taking a moment to breathe deeply helps avoid an automatic response. Socrate mind emphasizes that emotional freedom arises from this awareness, as recognizing our triggers allows us to choose our responses wisely. Each pause, each inquiry into our reactions, brings us closer to lasting mastery and inner serenity. Thus, understanding our triggers is not an act of external control, but an act of inner freedom that makes us masters of our emotions, capable of responding with clarity and calm to any situation. Learning to create a space between stimulus and reaction is one of the foundations of Socrate mind for mastering our emotions. Too often, we react reflexively under the influence of our conditioning, past experiences, or emotional habits. The conscious pause involves interrupting this automatic cycle to observe our sensations, name our emotions, and breathe deeply before responding. Even a few seconds are enough for the mind to regain control, allowing our reaction to be thoughtful, aligned with our values, and not dictated by anger or fear. This pause is not merely a delay. It is an act of power and freedom, as it enables us to choose our responses rather than being manipulated by our impulses. By regularly practicing the conscious pause, we develop clarity, patience, and inner balance. Conflicts then transform into opportunities for learning and growth, as we approach each situation with clarity and discernment. Socrate mind reminds us that every moment we stop to breathe and reflect before reacting is a moment in which we strengthen our self-control. When this habit becomes natural, it transforms our way of living. We are no longer victims of circumstances, but conscious actors of our choices. The conscious pause also helps reduce stress, as it distances us from emotional reflexes and places us in a position of inner control. The more we practice, the more the pause becomes second nature, and each impulsive response decreases in frequency and intensity. It is a path to lasting serenity, as we learn that our true strength lies in our ability to remain masters of our reactions, to observe before acting, and to transform difficult situations into moments of reflection and personal progress. Conscious breathing is the most accessible and powerful tool for mastering our emotions. Socrate mind emphasizes that breathing deeply and slowly instantly reconnects us to our body and mind. When we are overwhelmed by anger, fear, or anxiety, our heart rate increases and our judgment becomes clouded. Conscious breathing acts as a bridge between emotion and reason. It gives us the time to step back and observe our sensations before reacting. Inhaling slowly, exhaling deeply, and feeling each breath helps calm the body and soothe the mind. It is a simple yet extremely effective method to interrupt impulsive reactions and restore inner clarity. Socrate mind teaches that mastering our breath is mastering our life, as each conscious breath strengthens our power over our emotions and actions. This practice, when repeated daily, becomes a habit that supports all other forms of self-mastery. Even a few moments of conscious breathing in the midst of a stressful day are enough to regain calm and serenity, allowing us to respond to challenges with discernment rather than impulse. Breathing becomes an anchor, a fixed point that connects us to our inner power, reminding us that we always have a choice in our reaction, regardless of external circumstances. It also helps us stay present, observe our emotions without judgment, and transform each situation into an opportunity for learning and growth. By integrating this practice into daily life, we develop natural resilience and emotional stability that accompany us in all areas of our existence. Each conscious breath is a declaration of mastery and a step towards inner freedom. Emotional mastery does not mean ignoring or suppressing feelings. It begins with fully embracing them. Socrate mind teaches us that every emotion is valuable information about our needs, expectations, and values. Feeling anger, fear, or sadness is not a weakness, but a signal that something deserves our attention. Accepting our emotions without judgment allows us to reduce their intensity and respond with clarity and discernment. This conscious acceptance helps us understand our triggers and identify the beliefs or patterns that amplify our reactions. By observing our emotions as messengers, we transform each difficult situation into an opportunity for personal growth and self-understanding. The key is to feel fully, then choose how to act rather than reacting automatically. Socrate mind emphasizes that this approach empowers us to transform our emotions into inner strength. Every moment we accept our feelings without resistance strengthens our inner freedom and self-mastery, as we are no longer victims of our impulses. Accepting emotions also fosters empathy and patience, as by recognizing our own reactions, we better understand those of others. It becomes a solid foundation for living in a balanced way, aligned with our values, even in the face of daily challenges and tensions. This practice, applied regularly, helps us remain calm, clear-headed, and resilient, transforming potentially destructive emotions into tools of power and wisdom. True mastery is therefore not the absence of emotions, but the ability to welcome, understand, and consciously choose our responses at every moment. Self-awareness is the key to all emotional mastery. Socrate mind teaches that to avoid reacting impulsively, we must first understand our thoughts, beliefs, and reactions. Many of our automatic behaviors stem from old conditioning, fears, or unconscious expectations. Observing our reactions to everyday situations reveals these patterns and allows us to take control. Keeping an emotional journal, meditating, or regularly questioning our thoughts and emotions helps clarify what drives us to react. Each self-discovery becomes an opportunity for growth as we begin to identify what triggers our emotions, understand their intensity, and choose how to respond. Self-awareness creates a distance between what we feel and what we decide to do, transforming each emotion into a tool for discernment rather than an obstacle. By developing this ability, we become more lucid, balanced, and capable of responding with clarity, even in the most complex situations. Socrate mind reminds us that self-knowledge is the foundation of inner freedom, as it allows us to no longer be slaves to our automatic reactions and to live in alignment with our values. This constant practice fosters patience, resilience, and confidence in our ability to handle all situations with calm and mastery. The more we develop our self-awareness, the more we transform our emotions into reliable guides and constructive forces for our lives. The discipline of observation and introspection thus becomes a pillar for achieving lasting serenity and a fully conscious life. Our emotional reactions are often amplified by limiting beliefs that color our perception of events. Socrate mind teaches that it is essential to question our thoughts and convictions in order not to react impulsively. Every emotion deserves to be examined. Is this situation truly threatening? Am I interpreting reality or reacting to my fears? By analyzing our beliefs, we identify those based on fear, frustration, or past experiences, and we can transform them. Questioning our convictions allows us to decrease emotional intensity and respond with discernment, rather than yielding to impulses. This approach gives us the inner freedom to choose our reactions and to act according to our reason rather than our automatic responses. Regular practice of self-questioning develops our clarity, judgment, and self-control, transforming each emotion into a learning opportunity. Socrate mind emphasizes that questioning our beliefs is a liberating process, as it distances us from repetitive patterns and brings us closer to wisdom, serenity, and inner clarity. When we understand and accept our emotions, they can become a source of inner power. Socrate mind teaches that every emotion can be transformed into constructive energy, anger into determination, fear into caution, sadness into introspection. This transformation requires awareness, patience, and discipline. Each emotion contains a lesson or a message that we can use to grow. Anger, for example, can motivate us to act to protect our values, while fear can prompt us to prepare our actions wisely. By cultivating this ability to transform our emotions, we develop resilience, confidence, and a clear mind. Every emotional challenge becomes an opportunity for personal growth, and every chosen reaction strengthens our inner mastery. Socrate mind reminds us that true strength lies in the ability to use our emotions as allies, not as enemies. Learning to transform our feelings into constructive energy is a path to freedom, self-mastery, and personal success. Emotional mastery is an art that is cultivated every day. Socrate mind emphasizes the importance of consistency in the practice of conscious pausing, breathing, observing emotions, and introspection. Each day offers multiple opportunities to apply these tools: an unexpected conflict, sudden stress, criticism, or an obstacle. The repetition of these exercises allows us to transform theory into habit and habit into lasting mastery. The more we practice regularly, the more our responses become automatic in a positive sense. We choose with clarity rather than impulse. This daily discipline strengthens patience, resilience, and inner balance. Socrate mind reminds us that mastering emotions is not a one-time state, but a continuous process that transforms the way we live. Constant practice makes us individuals capable of reacting with calm and discernment, regardless of the circumstances, and of living each day in accordance with our values and true essence. Emotional mastery leads to true inner freedom. Socrate mind teaches that when we choose our responses instead of being subjected to our emotions, we live in harmony with our values and principles. This freedom allows us to act with clarity, maintain harmonious relationships, and face challenges with serenity. Every emotion becomes a learning opportunity, every pause an act of power. Living this way embodies wisdom, self-control, and inner peace, transforming each moment into a conscious experience. Socrate mind reminds us that real freedom arises from the ability to observe, understand, and choose our reactions. By applying these principles daily, we develop a calm, clear, and resilient mind, capable of navigating life with confidence, balance, and serenity. Life then becomes a path of growth, awareness, and inner strength, where every emotion, every choice, and every breath contributes to our freedom and sustainable well-being.